Hey guys, it's Proud Cat Lover. So today I'm going to be making a video just to kind of show you how the babies are doing while I'm feeding them. So here is Mischief, who does not want to cooperate, so let me just grab him real quick because he's getting food all over my hand. He is my extreme Harlequin, which he's not fired up right now, which obviously isn't a bad sign because normally they only fire up when they're either excited or if they are stressed. But he has really pretty, not so much on this side, but on this side, white portholes, which are those little circles that he has kind of towards the top of his back there. The white dots, I guess you could call them. He doesn't have that good of like pinstriping, but he does have a really nice crest, so that's one of the reasons I like him, aside from his color. He also is a good eater. He's a little chubby boy, as you can see. But I just weighed the babies. I think it was yesterday that I just weighed them. Wait, it was the 11th, so it was 2 days ago. And he is now a little over 10 grams, which is really good. He's almost heavier than one of the babies that was born in April, because he was born in June, and so that's a couple months, you know, past the other baby, and he's a little bit heavier than that one is, so it's kind of funny how they grow at different rates. But anyway, that is Mischief. Won't take a whole bunch of time to show each one just because there's obviously 9 babies to show, so don't want to spend a whole bunch of time and make you guys sit around here for a long time. But here also is what his belly looks like. Really pretty. Orange belly. A little chubby guy. Look at his pretty patterns on his hind legs. Really pretty baby, and really pretty on the front legs as well. Kind of can see his patterns a little bit better since he's on a white cushion. Oh! Come here. Blossom's just like kind of sitting there, but he's watching. Okay, but yeah, anyway, that's Mischief. Okay guys, so here is Whisper. Whisper and Indigo are siblings, and of course Indigo will be the next baby you guys get to see. But both of them have now officially reached over 5 grams, which is awesome. Like, they're in the middle 5 gram range, just because the weight scale that I use does very specific weights, so it's like, for example, Whisper is 5.19 grams. So very exciting, because these guys just recently turned 5 months old, and right now Whisper is being shy. Kind of goes with his name there, but because most of the time he's pretty jumpy, and that's when it doesn't match his name. But waiting for him to eat some of the food off his face, but this is normally how I feed my babies, is I'll put a little bit of food on their face, and then I'll wait for them to lick it off. But Whisper is a really cute little tricolor baby. You can see that his creams and oranges are developing really nicely. He's going to look really similar, I think, to Cappuccino, because Cappuccino has really similar lateral patterns going up the side of the stomach. Really similar back patterns as well, but I think that Whisper might have more pinstriping than Cappuccino, but they're really similar. Of course they have the same mom, so, but it looks like he's eaten a little bit of food off of his face. My camera doesn't want to focus. There we go. But yeah, so he's a little cutie. Of course, most of the time, like I said, he's a little devil jumping everywhere, being all crazy. But yeah, he's a little tiny guy compared to Ash, who, of course, like I said, is 10 grams heavier than this guy, because he's 15 grams now. But yeah, he has a really similar tail to his mom, but what's interesting is none of them have really inherited exact patterns of the mom's tail, because with Ember, her tail does have this white part, but about halfway down, it is like a brown and speckly color, which is really cool, and none of her babies, that I've noticed anyway, have inherited that tail color, so sad, but at the same time, I obviously don't mind too much because they're still really cute babies. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next baby, which is going to be Indigo, because Whisper is kind of starting to get a little jumpy, which is his usual self. So going to go ahead and move on to the next baby, which of course is Indigo. Come back over here. So yeah, there is Whisper. Okay guys, so this here is Indigo, sibling to Whisper. Very, very different when it comes to patterns and whatnot. You can see the back pattern, totally different. The crest structure is really good so far, looking really good. It has, he or she has the really neat, let me try to zoom in because I'm using one hand with the camera, but see how the crest is all kind of clustered around the neck, where the neck meets the back? It's funny because a lot of the babies have inherited the clustered crest scales from their dad, Magma, so it's really neat that a lot of the babies have inherited that, but he is going to be, most likely anyway, I was visiting with another breeder, an extreme tricolor, at the least an extreme harlequin, but I've kind of been watching to see if the cream and stuff starts to develop more, because obviously if he has a lot of orange with just a little cream, that probably will be a extreme harlequin, but still, I can't wait to see what he looks like when he gets a little bit bigger, because he is really pretty. Like, the color when he's fired up, especially, not so much right now because you can't really see it, but when he's fired up, the cream and orange really stands out and it's really pretty. So I am kind of torn because I want to keep this baby, but at the same time I already have 3 I'm keeping and I definitely cannot keep a 4th one. I don't have space. I have obviously enough money, but I do not have enough space to keep this baby, which kind of makes me sad because obviously I love the color and pattern of this baby, and the fact that he is such a really pretty cream color on the back. It's just so smooth and creamy. But yeah, so this is Indigo. And of course another baby of Embers. But he is just not really wanting to sit still very much, trying to climb in my hair right now. So I'm probably not going to video him a lot so I can get ahead and feed him so I can move on to the next baby. But yeah, so this is little Indigo, my little sweetheart. Even though he is very active, he never tries to jump a bunch. As you can see, I don't think he hasn't jumped one time. Not like Whisper, how Whisper's just kind of hopping all over the place, which I don't remember if he jumped a lot in the video or not. But when he was running up my arm, he jumped into my hair. So, nice thing about Indigo is he's not super jumpy, and he's somewhat laid back. So, of course, for this age, you kind of expect them to be active a lot. When they get older, that's when they kind of start to sit still, and he's thinking about jumping on my phone. But that's a cute picture. It's a little adorable baby. I'm going to take a picture of him real quick. But yeah, so anyway, that is Indigo. Okay guys, so I want to show you something funny, because I genuinely do not know how these babies accomplish doing this, but tell me how the heck a baby can do this with its paper towel. I don't understand. Like, what? It's like when I misted their tanks last night, the paper towel was laying down, so how? Just like, do they pick it up and jump around with it? This one's kind of similar, just kind of pushed around a whole bunch. Like, what? Like, what the heck? Okay guys, so I decided to show you Ash first because you can see how big he is. Just look at how big this little guy has gotten. Like I said, of course, he is 15 grams. But he is big. Not like so much fat or anything, but he is getting big. Like, I feel like he's going to be hitting his growth spurt soon, just because of the fact that he not only gained 3 grams in a month, but he also, like, his body is starting to grow quite a bit. Like, his crest is looking so pretty. He pretty much is like a little twin to his mom, Blaze, because when he's fired up, he looks a lot like her with the pattern on her sides and stuff. But yeah, he's pretty, really pretty. He was one of the ones I was thinking about keeping, but he just wouldn't go with the, like, group that I'm looking for, which I'm going to stick this pillow right here because I'm going to show you guys how much he loves dubia roaches. Okay, I got his attention. Normally whenever I go to feed him, I'll give him 3 dubia roaches first, so that he has eaten some insects, because he really loves insects. So I like to give that to him to kind of boost his growth a little bit, which obviously is not like force feeding or anything, or not force feeding, but like called speed feeding or something like that. I can't remember. Apparently they use it more or less with snakes to make them grow faster, but that's not obviously what this is. I just give it to him because they offer an extra amount of protein, and also a lot of people like to feed insects to their crested geckos as a treat, and so I like my babies to like insects half the time. Obviously, if they don't like bugs, it's no big deal, because half the people that buy from me don't feed insects to theirs, or they have no desire to get insects in general. But I like being able to tell people if they do or do not like bugs. So, but yeah, he's my pretty boy. He's just getting so big. I'm hoping in the April show that he gets a new home, because if not, I'll have to upgrade him to a bigger tank, and he might have to be moved to a different location, because obviously, height-wise, the tank he is in right here, which are these tanks, which Toffee and Cappuccino have been moved to as well, they're pretty much the max height for that shelf. So by the time that I upgrade the 3 I'm keeping, I'm probably going to have to put him in a tank similar to that one there, and just have him over on that place. One more dubia roach for him, and then that'll be it with the bugs. It's funny how they look at it and they're like, it's not moving. There we go. It's funny watching him eat a bug. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time showing you Ash, so let's go ahead and move on to Bramble. Okay guys, so here is Bramble. I'm going to talk a little bit quieter because, like I told you guys, he gets nervous easily. But he has a really nice crest structure, which is really neat, being that, like, he doesn't have, like, the most amazing color. He obviously is still pretty, and his back pattern is really unique, but he isn't, obviously, like, the most colorful, but he is definitely looking for a home with somebody that's more knowledgeable with crested geckos and has owned them before, or already owns crested geckos for at least a couple years, just because they need to be aware of how to work with him properly, just because he is really nervous. He is very skittish sometimes. You can see how he's already, well, not really so much right now, which is good, but normally when he gets stressed, he'll start to breathe really quickly. He will start to kind of twist his body really strange. And what's really weird about him is when he is kind of getting scared, if I just gently stroke him like I'm doing right now, it relaxes him, which is really strange, because normally reptiles of any kind really do not really want to be pet. It's more just for our enjoyment versus theirs, and they just kind of tolerate it. But what's weird with him is that and see how he's kind of doing it right now, see how he's kind of stiffening his body up. Let me see if he's starting to breathe a little quicker. Yeah, you can see how he's starting to breathe a little bit faster here. I'm sure the phone's probably making him nervous. But, yeah, so it's really interesting how petting him calms him down with certain things. And sometimes it doesn't help, and he'll just randomly start jumping everywhere and running away. But, yeah, it's definitely going to take somebody who is experienced with crested geckos to own him, just because of that trait, that characteristic that he has. But other than that, I think he's going to make somebody a great pet. But yeah, so anyway, here's Bramble. He is just a couple grams behind Ash. He's only 13 grams, and Ash, of course, is in the 15-gram range. But it's interesting because Ash's body is just so much more developed because he's older. And even though Bramble is big, he's not as far along, like body size-wise. He still looks young, which of course he still is. He's only about half a year old. So, yeah. Because he'll obviously be turning a year in... Actually, he's a little bit over half a year old, because he'll be turning a year old in April. So, he's got just 3 months more left to go before he's a year old. But still. So, yeah. Anyway, that is a Bramble. Okay, guys, so here is Sparks. Sparks is one of my tricolors I'm keeping that's really pretty. And I'm pretty sure it's a female, or I should say I'm pretty sure she's a female, but I'm not completely sure. So I'm probably just going to be checking soon again when I get the chance. Come on, get on the pillow. But I'll show you some of her patterns. They're really pretty. How it's kind of neat that she has a lot of dripping going on, which is pretty much just when the pattern drips off of the back onto the sides. And then she has some really pretty white patterns as well. Not like the most amazing crest, but still nice looking. And then she has like kind of medium amount of pinstriping. But yeah, she's a little bit further along like body shape wise than Bramble, but they both kind of are different body type. As you can kind of tell, Bramble is kind of a little bit more stocky and chubby, and Sparks is kind of, Sparks kind of has a stocky tail, but she just seems to be a little bit longer body-wise. But yeah, she's really pretty. She does not like bugs at all, absolutely hates them. Same as Toffee and Cappuccino. Neither, well, not really Cappuccino. He kind of likes crickets, but not dubious. But Sparks, Toffee, and there was one more. Hawk, I think. Those three do not like insects. So, of course, I don't have Hawk anymore because she sold at the reptile show in December. But yeah, so this is Sparks, of course, sister to Bramble. Really pretty baby. Have a lot of white pattern, which I'm absolutely excited to see what she looks like full grown. Really pretty back pattern, kind of like cream with like the auburn orange color. You can see more of the drips on this side, how it comes off the back onto the sides, which is really pretty. But yeah. So that is Sparks. Very laid back baby. Definitely puts up with being pet. Because some of the babies do not really care for it, so I don't really pet them that much. But she has a longer head. As you can see, her head is kind of longer and more narrow versus wide, like some of the other babies are. So it's really interesting. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now so we can move on to the next baby. But yeah, this is Sparks. Okay guys, so here is Cappuccino. And he's actually kind of partially fired up, so you can kind of see some of his pretty orange and creams that he has. He's a really pretty cream color. But yeah, here's what he looks like. Kind of get him settled in here. There we go. But yeah, he was at the top of his tank sleeping. But you can kind of see the similarities in pattern to Whisper, who was the second baby that we saw back at the first part of this video. But you can see how I'm pretty sure Whisper has more pinstriping than Cappuccino, because see how limited his pinstriping is? But he does have pinstriping going from the head to this part of his back, just like Whisper does, so it's really interesting. But yeah, he is finally 9 grams. So, which is awesome, because Cappuccino, I was about to say Indigo, Cappuccino was pretty much the runt of the litter. When it comes to all the babies, he was like the smallest. He took the longest to grow, to gain weight and stuff, so he finally went from 7 grams last month to 9 grams, well 9.5 pretty much this month, which is great news. So, hoping that he kind of starts to pick up a little bit more, because Smoke Bomb, of course last month, because she now has a new owner, but last month, of course, he was 7 grams and she was 10. So they're 3 grams in difference, and it's probably still that way because Smoke Bomb is such a good eater. Hopefully doing good for her owner when it comes to eating and stuff. But yeah, so really happy to see Cappuccino finally start to gain some weight. And he also is the softest baby I have. He's like just so soft. But he has the really neat head pattern just like Ember has. So it's neat to see that carried through in her babies, which is just the dark brown pattern there on her head, not the like cool looking wavy stuff going on here, which is neat. But yeah, so anyway, that is Cappuccino. Here is what his belly looks like. Really pretty orange color with those neat patterns. He's like, don't look at my belly. So yeah, he, like I said, likes crickets, but he does not like dubia roaches, so I'm not even going to bother trying to give him any. So, but yeah, that is little Cappuccino. Okay guys, so here is Snickers. Snickers is one of the babies I'm keeping, and also the second to last baby you guys will get to see. We're almost done seeing all the babies. So anyway, Snickers is a tricolor with almost a full pinstripe. It just breaks in a couple pieces, or in a couple of spots, I should say. Really pretty crest that she has going on there. Kind of fired down at the moment, but still really pretty. So she really likes dubia roaches as well. So I'm going to show you her getting to eat some. There she goes. She was taking a while there because she was acting kind of nervous, but now she's eating it. So anyway, I'll go ahead and kind of cut it here. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys get to see Snickers. She is developing very nicely, like with her body and everything, because she actually kind of looks a little bit older than she actually is just because of the size of her body and stuff, and how well she's been growing ever since I put her into the larger tank. So Mischief is going to be getting upgraded into one of these soon, just because I feel like that will start to kind of help spurt his growth. If any of you ever see your gecko doing what she just did, that just means that they're pushing the food down into their belly out of their throat. Just to kind of tell you guys real quick. So anyway, let's move on to the last gecko, which is Toffee. Alrighty guys, so here is the last baby of the night. This here is Toffee. She is my last female that I have for sale, and she is a tricolor, but what's interesting with her is all of her cream patterns are towards her belly, while all of her orange patterns are splotched up at the top. It's interesting that they don't actually mix. She also has the most amount of pinstriping out of all the babies. Set her down right here. She does not like insects at all, and she also does not have the most amazing crest. It kind of bugs me that it ends like right here, close to the eyeballs. But other than that, she's a really nice looking baby. She is kind of jumpy, as you can tell. She literally runs all over the place. But aside from just being very active, very jumpy, she's not like aggressive or anything, but she is kind of flighty and she does not like to be handled as much. Obviously, I feel like if she were to be with somebody who handles their geckos more than I do, whoops, sorry, then I feel like she would do better. But with me, I only can really handle them for about 10 minutes while I'm feeding them. And then that's mainly all they get with handling. And of course, that's every other day. So obviously they're getting handled at least twice, if not 3 times a week, depending on what days they get fed. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry to have to end it now, but I literally have 10 seconds that my phone has left of memory. So thank you for watching and have a good rest of your day.